want to thank everybody for the help they've given us to date, where we've really been able to make great progress in preserving community gardens in our city. And I also want to say the work continues, and we are continuing to work very hard to get to a place past just preservation and to a place where we really have a clear, transparent mechanism that gets us permanence. We had hoped we would be there already, but we are not. But we are continuing to muddle through the legal issues, and I am very confident that in the near future we will get to a place where we have a mechanism where all of the stakeholders really see that we will have permanency for the gardens in our city, and we will have permanency in a way where gardeners are part of the process and actually have a seat at the table. Now, things you worry about sometimes in government is if you give a constituency group a seat at the table, what if that constituency group ceases to exist? And they're kind of codified in regulations or a memorandum of understanding of law or something like that. Which is why it's so great that there is a Youth Gardeners Conference today. This is a great way for us to show the city that the constituency of gardeners is not going to end in the city of New York. In fact, there is an entire new generation that is spending part of the Saturday committing itself to gardening. And that is really important in our efforts, and also just really important in keeping our city diverse and green and a place with wonderful open spaces.
This is an exercise / game / role play. All of the above. And as Laura's handing out the instructions, I'm just going to kind of go through the preliminary rules for everyone. So basically, everyone here will be given an assigned role.
They have a choice, because they're not going to walk up into a big old supermarket knowing what to buy.
So then how about this? How about we take that parking lot and we make a supermarket?
Are you not listening?
But yeah, how about that? How about we take that parking lot and make a supermarket?
But you're not listening to me.
But first I want to introduce that concept that I mentioned, food sovereignty. It's a big word, big phrase, and it has a big meaning. We know let's take it apart a little. Food, we know what that means. Sometimes it's hard to tell if what we're eating is actually food, but we understand food. Sovereignty is often defined as complete independence and self-government. So what does it mean when we put them together, food sovereignty? Thank you, Karen. The term was coined by Via Campesina in 1996 to mean the right of peoples to define and govern their own food and agricultural systems, to choose how their food is grown, distributed, prepared, and marketed. This is a contrast to the idea of allowing international market forces to choose how and what we eat. Food sovereignty is the right to grow, distribute, and eat good food. I want to focus on this and how elders and youth can work together to bring about food sovereignty.
Also, it's affordable. So if you can't afford the $200 at the beginning of the month, going on a weekly basis is much cheaper. And if you don't like what you're receiving, you can stop.
And they also look at your income. If you are below a certain income, they even take that price and cut it in half. You can also pay with EBT.
A community with a garden or a farm means a whole lot more than kind of just like what could possibly be food security. I think that what really needs to be focused on, especially in an urban environment, is how can a community or farm foster a safe space, not only a safe space for the community, but a safe space for young people. Like not only a safe space, but a resource for a safe space. And that kind of space is a place that can serve as almost like a learning environment for students, a learning environment for the community, and serve as a place that can kind of foster a better sense of the word community.
We also talked about people owning their own learning process and being able to grow from that and being able to use their own education to empower themselves. And if a system is just giving a one-way direction towards learning, then it doesn't lead for the development of people it's intended to teach. So I think in the application here is that young people need to be aware as opposed to academically trained to understand.
I see the difference between a community garden and a garden without a community without a garden, like personally, because my community doesn't have a garden, I come across town to Hamilton Heights Garden just to interact with the garden. It brings us close together like family. While in my normal neighborhood, we're all just separate. We ignore each other. We just walk past like it's a normal day.
Well, with Eastern Yard Farms, I guess it's helped me become like a better leader and also sort of a better speaker. I know I'm not the best speaker right now.
You're gracious.
Most importantly, my diet's changed. A story could be last year I ate a yellow pepper during the market and it burned a lot. It also tasted really good, so I started putting peppers with like everything I ate, like pizza and burgers. I know that may sound weird, but I also believe that I have helped this organization spread the word and help work towards the ultimate goal, which is basically a safer and healthier community, and make it just a big family.
One thing?
Yeah, sure.
Because I actually also worked for a large nonprofit, and we had a lot of government funding, specifically through city agencies.
Yeah.
And when you get government money specific to, to a certain city agency compared to foundation money, there's going to be a lot more paperwork.
Exactly.
And how you can spend that money is going to be a lot smaller and a lot more narrow.
The biggest thing you can give the youth is an invitation. Because as quickly as a kid to join a gang or run down the street to do something on a negative end, because somebody said, yo, come with me. It's as quick as you can get them to come out to a garden to learn something they may not know about. It's all about inviting them, making them feel invited, because there are not too many gardens in Bushwick where I come from, but there is kind of a detachment from feeling like, I'm a part of it. You see this garden, you see these people working in the garden. Nobody says, hey, you want to come down? This is your garden too.
I'm going to college starting in September, and I don't know, but I'm actually going to be at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences. My original plan was to major in animal science, but my interest in the sciences is too far spread, I think, for myself. But I think I'm definitely going to go into genetics in some way, shape, or form. So in 10 years, I sort of see myself genetically engineering, modifying, making things better.
I guess I see myself graduating from LSU in 10 years. I'm gonna go old pro football or open my own. Or open my own car shop and also have my own garden for my kids in the backyard so they can stay healthy and fit.
We gonna make it loud. Let's go, y'all. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Since our founding in 2008, most of our trips and most of the learning that we did was kind of focused more on just social justice. And then once we started getting into farming, it made me understand a certain thing about food. And what that thing is that food can actually be used as a vehicle not only for eating, because it's obviously something that's essential to us, but food can be a vehicle for creating social change, for creating economic incentives, for creating economic stimulation in a community, for really just serving as every type of a solution that can kind of be brought together and culminated into one holistic solution that attacks all points of the problem. So I think that food is extraordinarily valuable in my perspective in the work that I'm doing, because I think that we can really utilize it on a lot of different levels.
Community college that are learning environmental science and urban planning around different industries to identify like how we can generate jobs that will also heal the environment that we're living in.
With this when we did this, I didn't eat many vegetables or anything at all. I was just like, now I'm really starting to like try to open my to other things. I actually at one point I stopped eating chicken and beef for like a few weeks. Like I made it like a month and like a week, but it was like I figure like how hard it is to do that when you don't have other options, especially like for the school lunch things. Like all they really serve you is pizza and burgers and chicken nuggets and stuff.
What words of advice do you have for youth in the audience who would like to get involved?
Let's open it up to any youth who want to get involved. What would you say?
A word of advice would be, if you have goals set on your career, just go out there, find the program, find your way through, find an environment you can learn in, as well as enjoy being in. It's very important to do what you love and love what you do, I believe. And yeah.
So when I say rise, the people say up, rise, up, rise, up. When I say up, the people say rise, up, rise, up.